Welcome. It's me, Hannah Crum, with two legends.
Okay, me, Steve. I
Steve.
interviewed
And Mad Cat.
And that cat.
This guy right here. Every time you score, he has to play this song for you every time, every single time.
David. He appears. I believe in Derek.
Let's go. Welcome, one and all, to another edition of the Musings. Lots and lots of stuff to talk about as we get into it here. Got my buddy Steve over in Hamtramck.
Hello from Hamtramck, and yes, I know I'm using the same background here like last week, although it's empty.
Well, I think I said my piece on After Hours on Saturday, if you know what I meant by that.
It was just, I'll say this right now, Matt Cat. The Free Press article and mention us, a terrible weekend. The Tiger season ended in flames in 15. The Lions got beat by Kansas City with a little help from the refs, and then temper boiled over. Michigan, and Wayne State lost all this weekend, although Wayne State is having a horrible season, and oh, brother. So that's the Red Wings won, but yeah, we have to begin with, all right, we talked about it After Hours.
As our friend Neil Rule said, they lost to Toronto.
They swept Toronto, by the way, in our little home and home.
Toronto,
so that's good. That's good. So yeah, but yeah, the weekend was not good, and Detroit City FC. Oh, brother, if you were there.
Oh my God, we were both there, and I exemplified that at the beginning of the recap on Saturday. Needless to say, a tough loss for Detroit City FC. Right now, let's go right ahead and look at the standings before we go into a review of all the shenanigans that are going on in the USL Championship. So, looking at that standing right now, congratulations to Lou City, once again, winners of the Players' Shield.
The Porter Shield, they won their game against Miami FC, who was already eliminated from.
They won late too.
Yes, 1-0, the best record in the league, and you get the Shield. Will it translate to playoff? We'll see. You know what I mean?
Yep. I think in a couple weeks, let's do a playoff preview.
Let's do it right now. We'll talk about it after the show, the planning of the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. Let's do it in a couple weeks. We'll have a special edition of the Musings previewing the USL playoffs. But Charleston firmly in second, 58.
Locked in number 2 after a 5-0 whooping on Monday. It was
I'm not going to show it. I'm not going to show the highlights of that one.
Okay, go ahead.
Self-explanatory. That was pretty self-explanatory. It was a BTA, and I think the only team that was a little bit mad on Monday would have been Charleston, because they started off winning by a score of 1-0 before the rains came.
Yeah, this was originally supposed to be a Saturday game, but they got stuck in a nor'easter, and it tore up the field really good at Patriot Point Park. They said, there's no freaking way we could play in an unplayable pitch. So the match was abandoned. They agreed to a reschedule on Monday from the top of the game, start of the game. And yeah, the BTA was 5-0.
Yep, and like I said, the only club that could be mad about it would be Charleston Battery. It's like, you stopped us in the middle of this game. Okay, we're gonna pop 5 on you.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, sorry for Colorado Springs at this point. We'll delve into that mess next week. Should things figure out here in the East. Of course, Hartford Athletic jumping to third at 44 points. Loudoun United at 42. North Carolina 41. Pittsburgh at 40. All those clubs have clinched.
Yes, clinch. Hartford have at least got one foot in the door for hosting a playoff game in Hartford. It would have been unimaginable 5 years ago.
It would have been. It was unimaginable when we were looking at it 6 months ago.
Yeah,
I don't think it was imaginable of them making the playoffs.
you're right. Me too. And when we look at our predictions and see reality, holy shit, we'll be eggs on our faces.
Oh God,
Unbelievable.
definitely plan on that when we do the preview in a couple weeks. But yeah,
Uh-huh.
but right now, the four teams involved right now in the playoff picture that are still alive: Rhode Island, Detroit City, Indy 11, Tampa Bay Rowdies. Those are the four that are in play right now in the Eastern Conference. Um, and right now, it's the scenarios are there for this thing to be done and over with this week. All Detroit City would
Yeah,
have to, yeah,
yeah.
all Detroit.
Let's get to last week, because remember, part of the payoff scenario was we beat Loudoun at home, we get 3 points. Well, you know what we call it in gambling? A busted parlay. Because Rhode Island beat Tampa Bay 5-zip in a dominating performance, literally. And Indy 11 lost to Pittsburgh Riverhounds despite all the behind-the-scenes drama, which we'll get to in a minute. 2-1. They locked their playoff position. So all you have to say, Detroit must win this week against Charleston. Good luck. And Indy must lose to say, nope, you're done, and Tampa Bay's done, and we have our 8 playoff teams in the East.
Actually, what Detroit needs to do on Saturday is at least draw.
Yes.
That's all they need to do. They at least need to draw. Now, what happens with Indy 11 and Tampa Bay Rowdies? Obviously, they have to lose. Indy 11 loses because they are directly right behind Detroit City. Indy 11 loses. Detroit City has the tiebreaker, so that means they can't catch up. Yeah, and if Tampa Bay ends up winning, that will move them to, let's see, that will move them to 33 points, which would be, I don't know, give or take there. Given our, I believe we have the advantage over them as well, or no, or do they have the advantage over us?
Well, I know, and us against Indy case, we own the tiebreaker because we gained 4 points to their 1 series. I don't know about.
I think Tampa Bay came in there and beat us. If I do remember correctly, yeah, Tampa Bay did beat us. So Tampa Bay does have the tiebreaker.
So it's all come down to the last game of the season, and Tampa Bay, if they win, based on Orange County FC at 11 o'clock over at their place, it's 2023 all over again.
Well, all Detroit City. We'll delve into it on Soccer Night in Detroit on Saturday, more or less. But basically, what transpires here? Detroit City needs at least a draw.
Yes, or win.
Yeah, at least a draw. Tampa Bay and Indy losing, of course, and then Rhode Island. Basically, all they need is because they are 5 points up on Indy 11 right now. They virtually need just a point as well, and then they're in.
Yeah, you're right. And we could lock up, like I said, Tampa. Like I said, yeah. So that's going to be important. You know what I mean? So we'll talk about it on Saturday night pregame against Charleston. And by the way, I was going to make the point. We did drew Charleston last year at Patriot Point Park. One of the few teams to gain a point or 3 points. So it is possible.
It is possible, definitely, and we shall see what happens when we go into that on Saturday. But
let's talk about the
Western Conference. Oh my God! Can anybody win a game to save their lives, please?
Well. Tulsa FC is the third team to have lock-up playoff position. Indy, East is Louisville, and Charleston. They're going to finish 1-2, waiting for their opponent. Tulsa, 53 points, 9 points ahead of Sacramento, Sacramento Republic, who tied with New Mexico. They'll finish 2-3. Whoever finished 2, who will finish 3. El Paso got 40, and the latest, you could say.
We'll delve into that in a little bit here.
Okay.
We'll let you do your tribute to the latest team on the chopping block in a minute there. But okay, let's go from 5th on down.
Okay, I was
All
about
right.
to do that.
Yeah, actually, let's go from 4th on down because 12 points separate 4th through 11th. And
Oh my.
And we're looking at 7 spots now because you even go further, San Antonio at 37 is 11 points up on Oakland Roots and Monterey Bay sitting at 28th.
Yeah.
Then you got Phoenix Rising, Lexington SC.
Uh-huh. The defending champion,
Let's see,
Colorado
I
Springs,
said 9
34.
points. Okay, yeah. 8 points between, no, not even that. 7 points between 7th and 11th right now.
Yes.
And here's even better. Here's even better. Let's go even further. Let's go a little bit further into into this table here. Let's see. Form overall. Okay, let's do that. Let's go even further into this.
Okay.
This is from 7 through 2 wins out of that whole group from 7 to 11. The rest of them, losses or draws. Oh, excuse me, 3 wins out of that group from 7 to 11.
I know. Lexington, who's doing really well at 35
4 wins
points.
if you go through the 6th spot. 4 wins out of 1. Let's see, 5. Okay. I'm checking here. So this is from 6 to 11.
Okay. Phoenix with 36, Lexington with 35, Colorado Springs with 34, the defending champion. They all have 2 games left.
Yeah.
Orange County FC could, who knows, leapfrog because they have an extra game on them. And the rest, Oakland Roots, hypothetical, Stillman Live with 28, and Monterey Bay with 28 with 2 to play.
4 wins out of 30 games from this group. This group of 6.
Wow.
4 wins out of 30 games.
4 wins total, right? Out of those 6 teams, right?
Yes.
Oh my. Oh my.
Yeah. That's why it's called the Great Western Conference Pillow Fight.
Can anybody win and move up, for God's sake?
Nobody wants to win.
Oh my God. So does that mean they are easy picking for the playoffs when we get to the playoffs?
That, you know what? Does it state to the higher competitiveness of the Western conferences? Because when you look at that, okay, nobody's won. People are basically, backing into the playoffs. However, though, when it comes to the knockout stages, though, it makes it a little bit more interesting. Grant you, yes, Colorado Springs was the 2nd seed last year. That ended up winning the USL Championship trophy. So, still eventually the cream will rise to the top there. However, like I said, that competitiveness in the Western Conference, we all call it a pillow fight. Anybody that's watching it, in USL circles is calling it a pillow fight. However, though, when it translates into the playoffs, who's come up as champions the last, I'd say, 4 or 5 years in a row?
I remember the Phoenix Rising, who won the title 2 years ago, was the 6th seed, and they destroyed almost the Western Conference. I remember watching the game against the now defunct San Diego Laurel. They ended their playoff dreams and their life literally on that day. Then they beat what I would say Oakland Roots, or I remember they beat the entire California Crow. They beat the Oakland Roots and then upset Sacramento in the Western Conference Finals. That's where Dan DiDico, our current head coach, was an assistant. So, and also they defeated the number 1 seed Charleston Battery. They destroyed the best of the best.
Yeah, and San Antonio, of course, the only team to win the double in the last few years. They had that dominating season back in 2022.
Yeah.
Phoenix Rising, I think, won in 2019 as well. So
Uh-huh.
it's been a long while since I think what was it? Lou City back to back was the last Eastern
Yeah,
Conference
Blue
team to win
City.
a
Yeah,
title.
yeah, Blue City is going for that 3rd star. You know, this is what they say when they reach playoff forms, including a lot of teams who had okay season or backed in, although they have almost bad season or something. The playoffs is a new beast. Everybody is 0-0, but unlike the hockey and basketball playoff, like I said, it's one and done.
Yeah, it
One
is.
and done.
It is. It's knockout round stage. There's no aggregate on any of these matches whatsoever. It's one and done. You're in. You either it's winner. It's literally win or go home. And
Yeah,
for the last few seasons, as noted, like I said, the Western Conference has always come up with the team to beat somewhat. It doesn't matter how, now when you look at the competitiveness between those. When you look at the fixtures between those, you think it okay, everybody's losing. Does anybody want to make these playoffs? But it does show the competitiveness of this side of the this side of the table because they're jockeying for position right now to see who's going to be in the top 8, and then once that's done, throw the records out the window. It's go time.
it's go time. Records or best team on is not decided on paper. It's decided on the pitch.
Absolutely.
And
And
once the whistle first blow on the first playoff game, it's totally on for
yeah,
the next 3 weeks.
anything goes at this point. Like I said, we'll delve into that in a couple weeks there when we do our playoff preview. But yeah, I mean, just looking at that Western Conference right now, it's just ugh. Yeah, no wonder why they call it a pillow fight.
That's for one team.
Yes, and we have another uh, uh, casket to bury in the cemetery known as the playoff wasteland.
I know, the Vegas Lights. Oh, yeah, you had a great season being on the top of marquee next to Wayne Newton and David Copperfield. Both of them have residency, by the way, in Vegas, by the way. You were part of the big, bright, beautiful lights that is adjacent to the Vegas Strip and Fremont Street. By the way, their stadium is near the Fremont Street Experience in Vegas. But unfortunately, you kind of scared the lights too much, and this season was not so bright. Oh my, Western Conference 1 year, bottom of the West the next year. And we thought you were good, but unfortunately, you're going to be a miss show until next season. Oh my, Vegas with 26 points and 2 games left. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Notarino pretty much, let's just say, buried them early on in the year. Remember when they were struggling to find their way, and then Notarino ends up getting fired. That's a team that never recovered. Even getting players like Johnny Rodriguez, who was a standout with the Oakland Roots, and they thought his firepower would help contribute to this club, and it didn't come to fruition, unfortunately. And like I said, this is one team that never recovered from their early start,
Yeah.
and it came to bite them in the end of the season. So.
Yeah, unfortunately, remember he was the coach of Miami FC. Remember that season last year? And hoping new start maybe, but then he was let go, and brother, they were playing catch up all on.
Yeah, I mean, one of the worst records in
And
the history of the USL Championship.
yeah, you're right. And also, the head coach the year before went to, was it New Mexico or MLS? I
I
think New
believe it
Mexico.
was New Mexico. The coach went
Yeah,
from
from
last
last
year
year.
went to New Mexico, as New Mexico's coach went to MLS.
Yes, and you saw how New Mexico doing. They're a lock for home playoff position. You know what I mean? We could tell when DCFC went to their place, and they got blown out of the water.
Absolutely. So, I mean, needless to say, it's been like I said, a tough year for Las Vegas indeed. You'd think it would be a tough year for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, but they're firmly into the playoffs now. But they've had a little bit of a controversy. We talked about this early on Soccer Night in Detroit last week about Bob Lilly on administrative leave right now, and this is all we know.
Okay,
That
we're
he's
not doing any speculation what happened. But
absolutely not. We're just reporting. Although
Okay.
we're going to bring up something in a little bit here.
Okay.
Okay. Basically, right now he's on administrative leave. That's all the club is saying. He still has a job with this club, as far as we know, as of right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to go back to an article. I think I might have shared this with you.
I read the article, and very interesting.
Yeah. Jonathan Starling from Beyond the 90 was talking about it in his little news and notes there on earlier this week, as far as that goes. So basically, he said he joked last week that it was the beginning of the end for Lilly in Pittsburgh. He's convinced of it because instead they're using acting head coach about their current guy. He's thinking that something on the terms of Billy Gillespie.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Billy Gillespie is an American college basketball coach who has been in trouble before for running way too tough practices. You know what I mean? That involve a lot of yelling, and he lost two of his jobs in the Division 1A, Division 1 level. He was recently reinstated as coach after a similar, I don't know, with Division 2 or something. And it's just like, I don't want to say behavior unbecoming of a head coach. I know they run practices all the time in behind the closed doors, and sometimes it does involve a lot of yelling. Sometimes there's a point of coaching and way too much coaching, like pushing
Kind of like
into the
Bobby
line.
Knight.
Yeah, remember him? He threw that chair.
Yeah, kind of like Bobby Knight. I would say it's I would say to the terms of like Rich Rod. I mean, he held practices. He held practices, but just overdid those practices.
Overdid it, yeah.
That's pretty much it. Overwent the hour. But here's what I mean. This is what Starling wrote in his article the other day. I was going to say Lilly wasn't all that active during the club's recent stadium expansion announcement. Twice we've seen Lilly keep players on the pitch and lay into them. The last one sure looked assured the manager's feeling the heat.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, Bob Lilly's an old school coach.
Yes.
He basically is an old school coach. He's not he really doesn't coddle anybody. He tells you, but the facts are he gets it done. They've been consistent. They've won the Eastern Conference Championship. They've won. They haven't lifted up the USL Trophy, but they've been successful the way he's been doing things over the years. The thing is, though, there's a lot of Pandora's boxes in this whole thing right now. It's like we can't really be sure. We can't really be sure why he is been placed on administrative leave. Is it something that has to do with the club on the club level, or is it something that obviously it's club level because they were the ones that put him on administrative leave, but is it kind of like sort of a situation where the club's not really telling anybody what's going on and keeping it under private wraps, and we'll find out in due time what happens.
It brings me back to that incident with Hartford a couple of weeks ago. Remember, we talked about ad nauseum when Danny Griffin was accused of using a.
Which is, I think it's a totally separate incident from that,
Okay.
to be
All
honest. I
right.
really think that's a totally separate incident.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
it has absolutely nothing to do with what's going on right now. I think there's
Okay.
something. I think there's something else that's something else that's stinking up the water there, right along the Monongahela, and
Oh yeah.
they're
Yeah.
just they're trying to keep it under wrap as much as possible, not to be too much of a distraction. Obviously, Pittsburgh did not let it be a distraction last week. They came away with the 2-0 victory to clinch
And,
their playoff spots. So
yeah.
right now it's like business as usual right now for the Riverhounds as they try to uh, get the get into the playoffs and succeed in the playoffs at this point.
I know, yeah. And from the look of the potential first round seeding as of this moment, can you believe if the season ended right now, Pittsburgh would be playing Hartford?
Interesting situation there,
Interesting
indeed.
situation,
So.
but unfortunately, I'm thinking this could be the beginning of the end of Bob Oley in Pittsburgh. You mentioned he wasn't there for the announcement of the expansion of a Highmark Stadium in Pittsburgh. Wonderful view, by the way, as everybody going for Division One, sanctioning and winning the USL Playoff. And
Yeah, I mean, we shall. I mean, like I said, it's it's going to be a story in progress, and it's going to roll right into the off season, as we know as we know, and we'll find out what's going to happen if he ends up staying. He ends up
or
staying.
end up going.
Not, we're going to be finding a new coach, or who knows what Bob Lay's trying. Like I said, well respected coach amongst the coaching circles. He's been there a while. He's had success there. And I hate to see it end because of something that could
Coaching
have been
wise.
bad or could have been
Yeah.
they hate to see something like that come to an end. All right. Speaking of
Speaking of
coaching,
managers.
speaking of coaching news, oh my god, the carousel is just the plethora of the carousel right now is just spinning out of control here.
Involving managers in the England League and the Scottish League. And we have to mention the Scottish League first because Rangers finally pulled the lever.
Russell Martin got let go, and do I have to? Let me go back and find Rangers form in oh god, shoot the last I don't know the last. Let's see, because we're back. Okay, are they back Sunday? Yeah, they're back Sunday. Okay, so let's look at the table right now. Rangers, right now, 7 games, only 8 points. Right now, they're sitting in 8th place in the Premiership right now. They are in the relegation playoff zone at this
How many
time.
wins have Rangers have won?
How many games have Rangers won?
Yeah.
1.
Oh my.
They've won 1 match.
5 draws.
They've lost 5 or they've drawn 5, lost 1.
Oh
They
my.
got unceremoniously booted out of the Champions League qualification by Club Brugge, and they're not doing quite all that well in the Champions League itself right now. So I mean,
oh my! I remember it gone from league to Champion League to
not the Champions League, Europa League right now.
Europa
Currently,
League.
right now,
Literally, they lost 2 Europa League games, a bunch of league games, and yet the Championship League qualifying, and yes, they're a hot mess, and they had no choice. They had to pull the lever.
Yep, 30. Currently, right now in Champions League, goal differential of -2. They've lost both their games. They are currently in 32nd right now in that table.
I know. My. And the 24 best teams to go for the knockout stage of 16 and 0, brother.
Yep.
Not good.
Yep, exactly. And it's not looking good right now for that team. So he gets let go. They were talking though, bringing in a coach with a little bit of a pedigree.
Uh-huh.
And I do mean a little bit of a pedigree.
And who is that coach with a pedigree?
Steven Gerrard.
Oh, the famous Liverpool legend.
Slippy G.
Uh-huh.
Slippy G. They were thinking about bringing him in. And he's coached there before. In fact, he won their last title
Uh-huh.
back in 2020, I believe it was. And he said, "Thank you for considering me, but I've got other things to, figure." Basically, told him no and rejected him because
You literally told them, thanks for the job offer, but no thanks. Sorry.
yeah, I think it's more personal issue than anything else, though, that he got rejected that way. But yeah, the talks of him coming in there were, they were floating around social media from what I noticed, and now right now they're still trying to figure things out. They got their under 19 coach right now doing the training sessions right now before they
No.
figure things out. You know, it is a royal mess at Ibrox right now,
Oh,
and
tell me about
me
it.
being this Celtic supporter right here, I'm loving every minute of it.
So think of Celtic, which I do follow in the Scottish League next to St. Pauli and a lot of other teams, FC Manchester and all that from past, the international games. What else? How is Celtic doing?
Celtics battling for the top spot right now. I mean, them and Hearts are the two teams right now battling for the top spot in the Premiership right now. They're not doing so well in Europa League right now. They've only had 2 games, lost and a draw there. So there's still some time left to right the ship, shall we may, as that right now. But they are pulling away right now in the Premiership right now. 2 points behind Hearts, and
We're
right now
only
7
month
points
two.
behind
So,
Kilmarnock. In
yes,
the
and after the city season ends, I'm hoping to see more of their viewing games over at the Collect Bar on the west side of Detroit.
oh, for sure, on the east side of Detroit, actually,
East side of Detroit, sorry.
on Kirchhoff there,
Yes.
just north of the clubhouse,
Okay. All right. You
just
fell
north, just north of the city clubhouse, as a matter of fact, on Kirchhoff. So take that in, and then you run into Mount Elliott and you go to the clubhouse. So I've done that before. So needless to say, but
Okay.
the other coaching thing is okay. Radcliffe says, Sir Jim Radcliffe says,
Okay.
we're taking our time. Respect the process. We signed him for 3 years. This is the same exact BS that has pissed off a United fan for the last, I don't know. When was the last time they won a Premier League title? 2013?
Yeah. A long time. It's been 12 years ever
This
since
is the same exact crap that has pissed off United fans for the last 12 years. And Ratcliffe's basically doing the same thing that the Glazers have been doing prior to that.
Oh my God. Meaning the manager got the dreaded vote of confidence. Oh my.
I don't think it's more of a vote of confidence. It's just a vote of, we're going to stay with the status quo. He's like, wait till he gets his players in here. Wait till he. It's like, okay, you wanted to get Ten Hag's players in there. What happened to him? He ain't got let go, even though he won a couple FA Cups.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, I just don't get it. And then Amarim, last year, I mean that stretch between, it's almost a year now since he's been hired. And what has United done?
Stuck in a rut, being dead last year without being relegated, 17th place. Lost the a title to Tottenham last year, and oh my God! And I unfortunately, My predictions being true that they could be likely relegated. Oh my God. That would
Well,
be an
they ain't that far. Well, they're 6 points away from that. They're sitting right now in 10th.
uh-huh.
They got a game this week against Liverpool. We know that's going to be the get-right game for Arnie Slot and those boys.
Oh,
At
brother,
Anfield, no
yeah. They
less.
lost twice, 2 in a row after starting a hot start, and they lost to
And then they
Crystal
lost
Palace.
in Champions League as well.
Brother,
So
yeah.
needless to say, right now, United's United's going to run into a buzzsaw at Anfield on Sunday. That game takes place, I believe, at 11:30 on Sunday, our time. And yeah, it's not going to look good on their end, to be honest with you. And it's like they just keep ever since Sir Alex Ferguson has left Man United, this team has been on like a downward spiral. It's been a gradual downward spiral.
Yeah, drip, drip, drip. Huh.
You
Here's
know,
another question, and here's another question. Will it take? Let's see what happened in the Christmas break. You know what I mean? Because as you probably know, everything what's going to happen in the second half is decided by the Christmas break. If let's say they are near relegation, do you pull the lever then?
he's not going to pull the lever. He said that. He publicly said that. He publicly said that. So that's telling a Man United fan or Man United supporter that you just slapped them in the face by doing this.
Oh my!
And now they're they bitch about the oil money and all that stuff that came in for Manchester City, but you know what? They might be flirting with that themselves. There's been rumors about another Saudi takeover by them or Middle East takeover by them.
Oh my God! This kind of reminds me. I don't know if you remember Wayne Fonts, who was the coach for a long time. He spent 9 years. He got to the playoffs, didn't get out of the first round, except for that 1 year before they got beaten by the Washington Commanders a long time ago. They were on a different name. I will not utter that different name.
And I won't utter that name either because that would be sexually explicit. Oh.
You're right. And he
my nickname for them anyway.
He somehow managed to survive until the magic wore off. And then you saw our ownership before Sheila Hamp came in the fray. He tried everything to make it look flashy and didn't work. We got embarrassed. Coaches got fired. Players got set up. Oh my God. I go over and over and over. This reminds me of what's going on at Manchester right now.
Are you saying you're comparing Sir Jim Radcliffe to one William Clay Ford?
Yes. You're laughing at me.
Loyal to a fault. But I mean, it's only been 3 years, you know. I mean, we could see it early on with Russ Thomas. I mean, you and I neither one of us were alive when the Lions were bought in 1963.
You're right.
The first person he hires, Russ Thomas.
And he was there for 20 years.
Two playoff appearances. 2. Okay, 3 because of the strike year. I didn't count that. But two proper playoff appearances in those years.
And I remember one of those playoff games was against Dallas. It was one of the lowest scoring playoff games ever.
I was going to say, you probably remembered it because I was weeks old when that happened.
To tell you the truth, I don't even remember it, but I'm read the legend of it because it was.
That was like weeks old when that happened. I was like weeks old when that happened. That was like in December of 1970.
Yeah, I think I was not born in that year. It was just better.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, and then you had the 1 year, 82, the strike year, which I don't really want to count. I really don't want to count. I mean, yeah, it's still a playoff appearance. Then again, now we got 7 teams.
Actually, I do remember that was my first long strike, the 1982 player strike in the NFL. The next one was that in-season strike that lasted for 6 weeks in 1984 with the baseball players that lasted 57 gays and brother.
Yeah.
Rights are
So
not good. I know
yeah.
they're battling
Well,
for money and all that, and like we have mentioned, thank God they have called talking about the players collective bargaining with the USL players. So
yeah. No news to
strikes
report
are
there.
never good.
Yeah.
Strikes are never good.
No news to report. Speaking of that, no news to report there as far as that yet, and they're still going
And,
on.
and also
And
look what happened.
contract ends
Yeah,
contract
look
ends
what
at the end
happened.
of the year.
I know. Look what happened. We lost two. We lost a World Series and an entire season in the NHL. So strikes are not that good.
No, they're
And
not.
there's going to be another lockout in Major League Baseball, which is forking depressing.
Yeah, exactly. Gotta treat your players right
I know.
in the long
Okay,
run. Gotta treat your players right.
you're
All
right.
right, get back into the rundown here. But like I said, the coaching carousel has just been one thing in the international news. But one thing though, we're seeing more and more teams getting ready or getting their tickets punched into this year's or next year's World Cup. And
Oh
England,
my!
one of those teams yesterday, but a little country.
I was going to use that then, but go ahead on the start. This happened on Monday.
Yeah, this happened on Monday. The one of the smaller countries in the world with a population that is maybe 100,000 less than Detroit, right in that range. Maybe right in that that range, a little bit less than Detroit.
560K, yes.
560K. Yeah, that's right around that 100,000 range. A little bit less than the population of Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
They end up going in there as one of the smallest countries to qualify for the World Cup. Can you tell me?
Yeah.
Can you tell me what that country is?
Cabo Verde or Port Verde is a small country off the west coast of Africa, a group of small islands off the coast of Africa near Senegal. They beat Eswana 3-0, not only to win their game, but also win the group. And it's a qualifying win. They're coming to America next summer.
One of the smallest countries to ever participate. And like I said, I mean, it's not really that big of a country, is it? I mean,
No, it's small. It's a group of islands way off the west coast of Africa. You know what I mean? It is an African country and all that. Well, I'll show you the map where it is. I share you this. That's where it is.
I mean, they were talking about what was it? They were talking about Marshall Islands joining uh, FIFA or whatever it is, and they are they that's pretty small there too. But I mean, for a country like that to end up getting in there, and grant you, yes, I know it's an expanded World Cup this year and all that stuff, but
48 teams.
I think the smallest country to ever represent the ever compete in the World Cup, I believe, was Iceland.
Yes, Iceland, the small country which gave up York.
Yeah, I think they were one of those. I mean, they were previous, uh, previous claimers to that odd thing there. But I mean, good for them. Good for that country there. Because it's like I said, this is a global game
Yes.
first and foremost, and to see more countries participate like this and make it into the final, make it the sport what it is. I mean, it really makes what the sport is, and it's gonna be good to see those. I like to see how those supporters are going to be when they play in those games, and whether they play in the United States, Canada,
Or
Canada or
Mexico.
Mexico. So, it's going to be interesting to see, as far as that goes. Maybe might be competitive. They might not be competitive enough to go up against the big dogs, obviously. But you know what? Just
Yeah.
for some countries, just making the final is good enough.
Yes. Yes,
So,
I agree. When you make the finals, that's part one. Part two, qualifying out of the group stage. That's more difficult. And then
yeah,
you get the show, which is the knockout stage. So, yeah.
yep.
Can I mention other countries that also qualified over the last few days?
Sure thing.
Saudi Arabia drew 0-0 against Iraq, but yeah, they qualified for the World Cup. England win 5-0 over Latvia. Henry Kane, who plays in one of the German team, got a break, 2 goals. You know what I mean? Cote d'Ivory, they're back.
Ivory Coast.
Yes, over Kenya, 3-0. South Africa making their first World trip since they hosted the World Cup in 20. Oh, my brain is a little
It's
bit
been a
blank.
few years.
Yeah, remember they hosted the World Cup back in, I think, 2012 or 2016, one of
I
the
think
2
it
years.
was 2012 because I think I
2012,
remember.
they qualified for
I
the
think that
first.
was one of the USA's last runs at it. Good runs at it.
Yes. That they're qualified with 3-0 win over Rwanda. Senegal also won 4-0 over Mariana. This is what I said on my notes. And Qatar. Remember, they hosted the last World Cup, the quote
They
unquote.
actually qualified.
Yes, they qualified with a win 2-1 over the United Arab Emirates. So right now there's 28 teams qualified for the World Cup, including the 3 host countries, USA, Mexico, and Canada, and so many others. Australia qualified, New Zealand qualified. I don't know if you have the list. I'm talking on the phone. I can't use, I'm sort of like Tom Brady. I can't throw the ball and run the ball and, I'll bring this camera. So,
Yeah. Hey, you know what? We're doing what we can. That's all we can do.
by the way, the dance card will be full in November with the last group games, and we'll see who lives, who survives, and getting ready in the next spot. And we're gonna have a soccer night special, the draw.
After the draw at Kennedy Center on December
Yeah,
5th.
brother.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. Remember,
Yep.
this was
I've
originally
been
supposed
reading
to
more
be.
stuff about him, Infantino and Trump being buddy buddy a
Brother.
lot. So yeah, we'll just
Well,
leave it.
let me tell you, let's hope the draw is more civil. I'm just kind of afraid somebody will be close by the microphone and they were yelling USA and they boo every country. That would be totally freaking disrespectful, for God's sakes.
Hopefully, there's some type of decorum there because usually those draws have a little bit of decorum. But
Yeah.
that's something that's not existing in this country, as you and I have seen in the last, let's just say, the last few years.
And not only that, it is decorum. Usually, you have a famous celebrity being the host, and then you have all the officials, and you have all the soccer legends. Excuse me, all the soccer legends drawing 4, 5 balls. I think the first draw will be Group A2. Well, since there are 48, I think about A group. Well, you know what I'm talking about. They'll place them first, and then the draw afterwards with 3 tiny balls, and they'll place them as of order. They cannot be in the same region, so that's the reason. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
great draw. You know what I mean?
exactly. It's going to be a little bit of it. Obviously all 3 countries, I believe, are in pot one.
Yeah.
Yep, all
So
three countries that are all 3 countries that are hosting this thing are in pot one as far as the competition goes. Speaking of tournaments,
yeah.
speaking of tournaments,
Damn.
in the lovely community known as Washington Township, Michigan, there's a little tournament going on right now of a little league that once was conquered by a certain team in the USL that plays in the USL Championship. In fact, one of their first championship games featured 2 teams that were part of the USL Championship. This is a league. It's had its ups. It's had its downs. More downs
A
than
lot
ups.
of them down. A lot of
More
them
downs
down.
than ups. NISA has come back, and they come back to the sports center. I will not say the name of the sports center.
Okay. We can't
for
say Beetlejuice 3 times and something happens. Or if we say Joe Henry, he will appear, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't want his face or his name or his club to appear. But needless to say, NISA Pro Cup happening up there at the sports center up there in Washington Township, and NISA never change. Never
The
change.
first game of their tournament that happened on what was it, Monday? I think it was either LA Forts or one of the established teams.
It was Northern Colorado Hailstorm.
Yes, who was
Remember
in
them? They were
one.
They were the Jägermeister Cup champions from last year, and
Yeah,
they had their issues. Ended up having to drop down to NISA. Well, ended up leaving USL, and then they had to find a league to play in. So Guess who they ended up joining?
NISA. Oh, brother.
Yes,
Talk
they ended up.
about bad career.
They're
Talk
probably
about
one of the more respected teams in this league. So Modesto City FC comes in.
that's
Can you
in
tell me
California.
how many players that they had on the pitch?
Believe it or not, they had 9 players on the pitch. As you probably know, 11 field players and the goalie. It's 11 on 11. Well, that game, I don't know how in the world they let the game start with 9 freaking players on the pitch. And the game, Northern Colorado was dominating. They led 4-0 the first half. And
They didn't
then,
start scoring. They didn't start scoring until the 26th minute of play.
I know. And then I was watching Maureen Kicker Out. You and I watched Maureen Kicker Out for
Shout out Jason Davis and
Robert Kerr.
Robert Kerr.
Jason
Thank you,
Davis,
thank you for the save there.
James Davis, local soccer guy. Well, I was watching Maureen Kicker Out, and believe it or not, they announced that, guess what? The match was abandoned. Huh?
You would think why they didn't come out for the second half.
They didn't come up with
Ended up being a scrimmage.
Oh, instead of doing the position, they decided, oh, we're done. We'll be back on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Not a great look to trying to rehab your image after City left.
Well, they're
Oh,
supposed to be playing today. I'm trying to look at it.
they're supposed to be playing today.
They're supposed to be playing. They're supposed to be playing. I mean, as we're recording, like less than 20 minutes from now against Sin City FC. And
Will
they
it
got a
even
contract
happen?
with YouTube, Roku TV, all that fun stuff. So
Will it even
if
happen?
you want to watch the match on the slanted pitch in Romeo,
Good, brother.
it's there. So, but
Right
yeah,
now, I'm watching the women's champion league in England. I'm seeing Wolfstein, the German team, the ladies. You know what I mean? Yeah, they have their own champion league. So, it's on
yeah, well,
Paramount.
UEFA Women's Champions League going on
So
right now
I have,
in lieu of the men being on international break right now.
yeah, you're right. I have more time watching the much better play than what's going on in Romeo or Washington Township or wherever. I don't know.
Although Dan Creel has mentioned plenty of picnic tables out there.
Oh yeah. It is nice, by the way. Just before the cold water come in, I have experienced. I haven't worn my coat yet, not at cold levels yet, but as they say in Westboro FC, when it turns September or October, what is coming?
As they say in Game of Thrones, winter is coming. So, but that's where we're gonna leave it off here. Of course, as I mentioned, we're gonna do a playoff preview next week. I think we're gonna delve into the Western Conference. Depending on what happens this weekend in the Eastern Conference, it should be wrapped up by this week, depending on results. We'll break that down for you on Saturday night for Soccer Night in Detroit. Our game's at 6 o'clock,
And
Indy
by the way,
11s is
we're
at
back
Indy
at the
11s is at
clubhouse.
7 o'clock.
And by the way, we're back at the clubhouse, a spot we haven't seen in a long time.
Yes, it's been a while. I mean, having this month off, having all these home games for for this amount of time, it's been nice. And the last 2 games on the road could be the
I
uh,
hope our
harbinger for what we see upcoming for Detroit City FC.
bar manager, the very lovely Sam Stage, remember us. Hopefully,
I'm sure she does. We see her all the time at the Lady anyway, so she remembers us.
I know she's a very lovely person, by the way.
Yes, yes.
Hello,
Shout out to Sam, um,
oh,
and
yeah,
the rest of the
okay.
gang up there at the City Clubhouse.
By
We'll
the
be
way,
there Saturday night
yeah,
for Soccer Night in Detroit and after hours.
one more thing I forgot to mention: Metro Detroit FC lost to Cleveland Croatia 5-2 in their U.S. Open Cup qualifier. By the way,
Yes, they did. I mean, based on the Twitter feed that I got there, they equalized. I believe they were up 2-2, and then just Croatia just finished them off. Unfortunately, shout out to Alex Lubanski and the group over at Detroit Metro FC for making the effort in there. And we are rid of Vinny Bell once again.
what do you mean by that?
Cleveland SC lost to Akron.
Oh, in the Open Cup qualifier?
Death,
In the Open
taxes,
Cup
and Vinny Bell.
qualifier? In the Open Cup qualifier?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Death, taxes, Vinny Bell.
This is the reason why they're having the qualifier. So when we get to the proper first round, it's game on.
Absolutely. And of course, as I mentioned last week, Flint City already in the competition in the first round proper. So shout out to them. Flint City Bucks, by the way.
Okay.
So we will.
Well, I hope you have a great rest of the weekend. I'll see you on Saturday.
For sure, you as well, and hopefully all you out there, we will see you on Saturday from the clubhouse as Detroit City FC takes on the Charleston Battery in the penultimate match of the regular season. And of course, we're going to be keeping a tab on what's going on with Indy 11. Indy 11 on Saturday. They will be hosting
Loudoun United. That's a 7 p.m. game.
Yes, indeed. And then Tampa Bay takes on Hartford Athletic at 7:30. So there's like 3 games we're going to be keeping a close eye on Saturday night for sure. And all that. We'll talk about that ad nauseum more on Saturday on Soccer Night in Detroit. So join us for pre and post match coverage from the clubhouse there on Saturday. So for Steve out in Hamtramck with the beautiful view of Comerica Park there.
Which is sadly now empty now that the season ended in horrific fashion in 15. And by the way, keep care. Be nice to each other. See you later. I'll see you on Saturday.
Alrighty, and Mad Cat saying, keep your feet on the ground. Keep reaching for the galaxy.